Hi everyone. This is Francisco, and I am recording this video because I keep hearing the word racketeering in my mind. And I just hear the word or the words he's racketeering, whatever that means. Now I don't know if that statement is aimed towards me or others. But I typed in, what is the word racketeering mean? I keep hearing it in my mind. So I added this so I could actually save it in my photos, and most likely the internet, like Instagram will not allow me to post this, but it will allow me to post like a screenshot. So anyway, so I really don't know, what's going on. I just keep hearing this this word, and I even copied and pasted what I typed in Google, and here is the the URL for this information down below, and I will take the time to read that. And it says, you asked about the definition of racketeering, and I don't know how to pronounce this word. I think it's collusion, and how they might apply to state or federal officials. The federal racketeer influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, and there's a penal code here. I'm not going to read it, but it is right here in my screen recording, and it says, prohibits 1. Acquiring, establishing, or operating an enterprise with illegal derived income. 2. Acquiring or maintaining an interest in or control of an enterprise through illegal activity. And 3, using an enterprise to commit illegal acts, extortion, blackmail, etc. And then it has some more information here. I'm not going to read it. It's a bunch of numbers and letters. I don't understand. I don't understand this, but here it is, right here in the video. And then it continues to say RICO, I think, defines racketeering activity as a long list of state and federal crimes. The federal crimes include bribery, various fraud offenses, gambling offenses, money laundering, a number of financial and economic crimes, obstructing justice or a criminal investigation, murder for hire, and sexual exploitation, which I'm very guilty of, by the way. But anyway, of robbery, bribery, extortion, dealing in obscene manner, and drug offenses. I'm drug crimes. I'm sorry. And drug crimes. It defines a pattern of racketeering activity as at least 2 acts of racketeering activity, one of which occurred after RICO, R-I-C-O, became law, and the last of which occurred within 10 years after the prior act. The Connecticut's Corrupt Organizations and Racketeering Activity Act, RORA, CORA, and then there's another penal code here. On the screen recording is patterned after RICO. CORA makes it a crime for anyone who has knowingly received proceeds from racketeering or loan sharking to invest those proceeds in the establishment or operation of any enterprise or in any real property. Under CORA, racketeering activity means committing, attempting to commit, conspiring to commit, or intentionally aiding, soliciting, coercing, or intimidating another person to commit a specified list of felonies. Which I stated that I am guilty of a sexual exploitation, or what is it? No, not that one. It was another one. Let me scan through this real quick. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I pay women for sex, so I'm guilty of that. I don't know if that's sexual, sexual exploitation. But I could be guilty of that, and I am. But anyway, where did I stop reading from? Oh, okay. Let me just continue. Under oh prostitution. Okay, anyway. Pattern of racketeering activity means engaging in at least 2 incidents of racketeering activity that, 1, have the same or similar purposes, results, participants, victims, or methods of commission, or otherwise are interrelated by distinguished characteristics. Number 2, are not isolated incidents. Number 3, include at least 1 incident that occurred after October 1st, 1982, and number 4, occurred within 5 years of a prior incident of racketeering activity. And then again, it shows another penal code here on my screen recording, which I'm not going to state because I don't know how to say it, or maybe I do, but I'm not even going to try. I think the word is collusion. It's not defined in either RICO or CORA, although the word collusion is used in a number of state contracting statutes. The Black's Law Dictionary definition of collusion includes a secret combination, conspiracy, or concert of action between 2 or more persons for fraudulent or deceitful purpose, which I'm guilty of because I'm fraudulent and deceitful. This type of conduct would appear to be covered by both RICO and CORA. Federal prosecutors have used RICO in cases involving public officials. Although we do not find a case involving CORA, it is likely that CORA could also apply to public officials since it includes crimes that apply to public officials such as bribe receiving. And it has another penal code. And receiving kickbacks, another penal code. How RICO or CORA could apply to state or federal officials would depend on the type of conduct involved. And I'm always respectful to my hosts. To provide an example, federal prosecutors alleged RICO violations in the complaint against Peter E. Leaf, a former co-chief of staff, and attached Hartford Court article describes the indictment. Elif later pled guilty to other charges. A copy of the 54-page indictment is available online at this link, which is on my screen recording. Anyway, so I was also thinking about because I hear voices, but they're never to harm anyone or myself. But I could definitely, I don't know if it's, like sound radiation, because that's a possibility. Because I grew up right here by the freeway. I could hear a motorcycle. Sometimes I hear car accidents, vehicle accidents. Sometimes I hear the police, firefighters, the AMR, the American Emergency Responders, I think. Um, um, or some shit like that. And then I could also hear people talking shit all the time. So it's fucking weird. But anyway, I try to bypass all that shit. I don't allow it to influence my mind in any way. However, there is an account within the Holy Bible where Jesus knowing their thoughts. So let me just type that up. Knowing their thoughts. The scripture, which is in the Bible, Jesus said to have known people's thoughts in a few instances, including Matthew chapter 9, verses 4 through 6. Jesus tells a paralyzed man, "Get up, take your mat, and go home." After knowing their thoughts and saying, "Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your hearts?" Question mark. Jesus' statement that he has the authority to forgive sins is meant to show that he is the Son of Man. There's another verse, John chapter 2, verse 24. Jesus is said to know what was in people's hearts and not let them have power over him. Give me a minute, there's a little bug that's been fucking with me, and it attempted to land on me, and I sprayed it with my Easy Fill sprayer. This is a long shot, by the way. It can spray like 15 feet. Up to 15 feet. Anyways, I don't see it, so hopefully I got that motherfucker. But anyway. Oh, and it's just like dish soap, or what else do I use? V8 VO8, some shit like that. Anyway, so my point is that maybe it's a high probability that the voices that I hear are from dead spirits. Who were sentenced to death unjustly, without justice, without like a legal proceeding. Just like Jesus Christ, he was able to hear or to know. It says knowingly, and he knew, right? Maybe he was able to hear as well. So he knowingly knew their thoughts and their intentions. So it's possible that, there could be people that passed away unjustly and in an act of murder illegally. So it's illegal murder of a person. And these spirits are like trying to get me to understand. They're trying to cause me to understand that these people that are rising up against me are evil at heart. And it's possible that, no one, whether they are civilians or people that are in the legal system, have any type of, power over them. Because one would assume that these people are pure in hearts, and when they go to court and they put their hand on the Bible and one hand up, and the judge says, I think the judge says, "Do you swear to say the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?" And they respond by saying, "I do." So it could be that, some of these people are actually telling lies and covering up their sin and the sins of others, which is illegal, by the way. But no one's perfect. No one is fucking perfect. We all fucking understand that. We all have to deal with that. Like, I study a lot of murder cases, so like the other day someone said that this man kidnapped this girl, raped her, and beat her to death with a hammer. I mean, just imagine that. Imagine if you were that victim. You were sexually assaulted, and right after that, you are getting slammed by a fucking hammer. And who knows what parts of the human body these blows were, impacting this person that passed away after repeated blows to their body. I mean, that is that's so cruel and unjust, like unjust all the way. You know, that's why I propose, if any of you ever want to take me out, you know, just walk up to me and put a slug to my fucking brain. You know, if you guys don't like people, don't allow them to suffer any more than they should, because you people don't want that to happen to you, right? So, you know, just, you know, be professional at it. Be like a hitman. And, you know, just go for headshots with your pistol, with your assault rifle, or even with your hammer. You know, like, yeah, you can hit me a few times with your fucking hammer, but just don't stop. You know, like, bash my fucking head to the pavement. You know, like, a hit or two, you know, a person might survive and wake up in the hospital and have, like, brain trauma, and, you know, they might be crippled and retarded for the rest of their lives if they get to survive, right? So, if you guys are going to commit a murder, do it the right way. You know, decapitate my fucking my neck from my body, like David did to Goliath. He not only threw fucking stones at him with a slingshot, and it states in the Bible that the rock, the stones, the small, smooth stones that he used on his slingshot, one of them went right in the middle of his eyes, right here on the front of his fucking head, and he got knocked out. But then David went to, like, over his body, and with his own sword, Goliath's sword, he cut off his fucking head. And it's recorded that he triumphed over him. He was given the power over him and over his enemies, over Israel's enemies. And he showed the face, and he carried the face of Goliath and took it to the leaders and rulers of Israel, and they loved him. You know, it's recorded that all the soldiers were afraid of him, of Goliath, and no one wanted to fight him because he was calling them all out. Him who slays me, all of my army will become your slave and fight for you. But he would say, but if I win, you motherfuckers will fight for my army. And it's recorded in the Holy Bible. So but it says that they all were afraid and they all ran and dispersed. And that's when the Israel army went up against them and fucking chased after them and slaughtered them all. Um, so, um, you know, I thank God that I just don't have that in me to, to physically do that to people and or to my enemies. If I have any enemies, I'm not aware of that. But I rely on God. I rely on AI technology, CCTV, and all the investigators within the United States of America and even outside of the United States of America, because some of these world leaders could be, they could commit crimes as well and murders. I think there is a man that committed 63 murders, and he was allowed and given the freedom to roam freely for a number of years or whatever the case might have been. But later they prosecuted him for 63 deaths, murders, 63 accounts of murder. And I think that this person was involved in some way or in some ways, in some way or ways, in the 9/11 attacks or attack with September 11th of the Twin Towers. And we all know that when these people attacked the Twin Towers, at least 2,000 people died. So, I really don't know how long or why it took so long for these investigators to file charges against him, to prosecute him for his sinful acts of violence and murder. However, that's why I don't personally get involved with any organizations or even the military of my own country. I could kind of say, like, I'm like David, and King David in the Holy Bible. He was just at home fucking around with his fucking sheep, protecting them from wolves and bears. And as a matter of fact, he even told that to the higher officials, like who the fuck is Goliath? Who is this guy? Like, I'm just at home taking care of my sheep, and when any threat is present or proposes itself, I deal with it. And he said, I killed wolves with my bare hands and fucking bears just to protect my sheep. So surely God will give me the power to overcome this enemy of yours. And the leader was like, okay, let it be so. Let it be, done according to your word. And here's the fucking armor. Put it on. But the armor that the king or whatever was attempting to put on him to protect him didn't even fit him. And he was like, fuck this shit. I'm just going to go out there without this fucking armor. It's weighing me down. It's going to throw me off. And trust me, I got this. And they were like, all right. And I'm pretty sure they even had a tactic to attack these Philistines, I think they were, in case David were to fail his mission and to fail in the attempt of killing Goliath. Because they weren't going to go down without a fight either, regardless of what Goliath was saying. Because, in the United States of America and in hostage situations, professionals are trained not to bribe with the enemy. They will reassure the person who has people in a hostage situation that they will receive whatever it is that they are demanding, or that they are or whatever they demand. But they never fulfill that. They, like, who the fuck are you to give us orders? In other words. So that's their mindset. That's the way they think. Like Goliath, like stating, if you guys take me out, my whole army will submit to you. But if I take out one of your guys, you guys will submit to me and my army. Like, that's child's play. That's something that they would never allow to happen. Over their dead bodies, they will never allow that shit to happen. So, they were prepared for the worst. And based on Goliath's statements, it actually weakened the enemy's forces and army, because they believed everything he said. So once he fell down and died, and David approached his body, grabbed his sword and decapitated it in front of everyone, the enemy's army and Israel's army. Well, they recalled his statements saying, well, if you guys kill me, my army will submit to you. So they all cowered away. And then they still attacked. Israel still attacked them and overpowered them and slaughtered them all, as I already stated. So I mean, I don't really know what's going on, besides it could be a case of people that have passed away unjustly, and it could be the reason why, I hear these voices. But other than that, I really don't understand it. I will never, you know, submit my mind to these voices because I'm headstrong. I have a good, head on my shoulders, before my fucking neck, obviously. Imagine that. My neck being to my shoulders. I would be one ugly motherfucker. I'll look like a fucking leprechaun. And no one in the world would like me. Not the enemy, and not my fellow comrades. So, anyways. So, yeah. And not just that, but I've been to prison. And when I was in prison, there was a few people that actually told me that. They're like, man, you're smart. You have a good, head on your shoulders. And they would give me advice, do good. When you get out of here, take care of your family. Get yourself a wife and shit like that, So, I just keep hearing this word, racketeering. And I don't know where it's coming from, but it's basically stating he's racketeering. And like I said earlier, I don't know if it's referring to me or other people. And I don't even know the definition of racketeering besides right now. I was in the restroom before I started this video. And, I looked up the word racketeering. Sorry, excuse me. And I did a voice search through Google, and I said, what does the word racketeering mean? I keep hearing it in my mind. So, if any of you out there are listening to me, right now, live, because yes, I have the intentions of uploading this video to YouTube and giving it a nice title, a fucking description, whatever the fucking, the whole fucking procedure that YouTube has you go through. But somehow I sense, I have this gut feeling that some people are able to listen to me live. So if it's really the case, which I don't doubt, as a matter of fact, I believe that as I'm recording, higher officials have at least 10 minutes ahead of the public, like the military, in case I decide to shoot myself, or in case I decide to injure myself or others as I'm recording, so that they can cut it off, so they can shut it off. so the public won't witness um, like something so like disgusting. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my mind. Maybe I do qualify to receive money from the government because my mind's all fucked up and twisted. And maybe I do have mental issues. That could be the case. But even if it is the case, I'm not receiving any type of, medical contributions of any sorts, of any kind. I wish that I was, though, because I have to bust my ass just like all of you. But if I could be lazy and I do shit, I would be right there in my comfort zone. Not caring about what's going on in the world except my own little life, my own little comforts. And the only time I would care that something was going awfully wrong would be if I was inflicted or affected negatively in any way. It makes sense, right? It's just like these people that were in the Twin Towers. Some of these people jumped out of the building. Who knows what the fuck they were doing? They were probably like some of the founders of that motherfucker. And they were just in there fucking all kinds of bitches. And they were in their fucking suites. When no one possibly or probably had access to their little area. And then and there's probably like 25 virgins in there, for them to fuck with and to molest and to have their way. And then all of a sudden the shit's burning. And then it's either they had a choice. Either I burn to death or I jump out. And we all know the story. But we don't know the entire story. We don't know what the fuck was really going on there. As a matter of fact, after further investigation, I heard that some of these buildings, stories had some military type of facilities where they could have potentially had terrorist attack or terrorist prisoners against the United States of America. And there's really no telling what these people were doing to these prisoners and how they were treating them. Not even going into them having the right to communicate with their family or their wives or children. Okay, so if these people attacked the 9/11 Twin Towers over revenge or over the people of the United States not providing them with legal uh, um, rights and opportunities, I can see why the collapse of the Twin Towers occurred. Despite all the innocent people that were in there, and possibly all the guilty people and corrupted people, not including the terrorists that attacked or that, killed themselves by driving those planes into the towers. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I always think that some of these people probably even jumped out of the planes. And only like one of them that was able to operate the plane stayed in there. So if that's true, that means you people have a bigger threat. That means you people have people that are willing to die for their own country, for their own people. And if their brother or sister sacrificed themselves that day in the Twin Towers, and they jumped out with parachutes and no one ever witnessed it, or there's no recording or proof of that, that means they're here in US soil. And it's a high possibility. And they could be acting like bums, living on the streets. I mean, there's a lot of people living on the streets. And not just that, but there's a lot of people from different countries coming to the United States of America. They could be Chinese people. They could be people from Afghanistan. They could be Indians. They could be from any country. And some of them are police officers, and they know history. So when you Americans are driving under the influence, and you guys are part of any type of military branch, you Americans back each other up. And it's harder for you people to do that now, especially with the body cams that police officers have to mandatorily wear on their chests when conducting active duty. When you guys are in active duty. So do you people think that these foreigners are going to have any type of sympathy or remorse over you people? Absolutely not. If you're guilty of drinking and driving, they're going to give you guys the max. And they're going to find any other fucking excuses to fuck you guys over. And that's why a lot of higher officials are resigning. Just look at the case of former President Donald Trump. According to what I've heard and studied, he's no longer the president. And Matthew Crooks attempted to assassinate him in a rally, and uh, Pennsylvania. Um, uh, I forget the actual location, and I forget if Pennsylvania is even a state within the United States of America, which I believe it is. Um, but it was like Pennsylvania, um, something. Okay. Anyway, and this person was an American. Um, so um, this person was raised here in the United States of America, and this person, attempted to kill um, someone, that was or that is, you know, up there in the military branches of the United States of America, and and I'm just thinking that um, I just keep thinking, oh yeah, because you know I think that leaders within the United States of America are attacking themselves on the basis of accusations aimed towards them regarding what they have classified as quote unquote failed mission. And after studying um, a lot of this stuff, I concluded personally, despite the fact that other people died there at the rally in front of families, fathers and children, mothers, I think that I don't think that it was a failed mission. I think that it was a successful mission because Donald Trump didn't die. And not only that, but one of the secret agents, terminated the threats. So, in my eyes, that was a successful mission, not a failed mission. And I was watching some of the YouTube videos regarding the legal proceedings regarding that case and those involvements that occurred on July 13th, 2024. And these people were attacking each other. And they were saying things like, well, someone needs to be fired, someone needs to be held responsible. And it seems like the enemy people that are not even from this country, people that never even grew up and that was raised in this country, um, are doing these acts of violence on purpose to break the system of the United States of America and the people, or its people of the United States of America. And that is a problem. That is a huge, red alert on my part, on, as far as my foreknowledge is concerned. Because that's a good thing. That's a good strategy for them to use against us. If they're trying to break us down, and they have no other formats for them to do that successfully. If you guys are sharing that with the media and through the news that it was a mission failure, to me it seems like a huge insult to the people that passed away that day. And to the people that could have died, potentially died, if it wasn't for the Secret Service that successfully neutralized the terrorist that was most likely born and raised in U.S. soil. So there's something much bigger going on than you people can, could imagine. And you people are giving the liberty to rappers to talk about people in in higher authority ranks in a negative way, and that stuff is getting publicized. It's all over the public. I remember when I first it was like my fourth time going to like a club my whole life. Okay? And they started playing a song that was saying fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald Trump. And everyone was like throwing up their fingers like this, fuck Donald Trump, and it seemed like they were buzzing it. They were high. They were intoxicated of some type of substance. And I was actually surprised. Like, what the fuck are these people doing? And I think I was even drinking that day. And when they started doing that, it brought me back to life. I became sober. I wasn't even like in tune with these people whatsoever. But I was still trying to have a good time. Despite everything that was happening. That shit just threw me off. Like, what the fuck? So I honestly honestly do not even know who Donald Trump is, besides that which I have heard through the news and stuff like that, through the news media. But I don't even know who you people are. I really don't know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. Another thing that really bothered me, personally, was the school people that were camping out, like on public schools, and I guess there was a strike or some shit like that. If I was in control, if I was, if I had to say so, or if I can make it like a mandate, like a mandatory rule against people camping out in public schools, I would actually do it. It's okay for people to have, like a strike, or for people to protest, but for people to camp out and to erect a tent, it should be abolished. It should be eliminated permanently, forever, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen. The military should actually arrive and confiscate those tents, because there's no telling what the fuck they're doing in there. And even though everything was recorded, I'm thinking and believing 24/7. But if it wasn't recorded 24/7, it makes me even have more crazier thoughts, like, what are these college students? I think it was college students, or I don't know if it was an elementary school or middle school or high school or even a college, but I think it was a college. But it makes me wonder what these people were doing inside those tents. And it just bothers me. It really bothers me. So I just I really don't know what this all means. Although, just to sum everything up, the summary or whatever, like, just to close out, I was I wasn't investigating, but I was watching some murder cases, and it took me to these multiple homicide asylums where people committed more than one act of murder, either one or more. And there was a counselor there that was actually interviewing each and every single one of them. And it seemed like he could just read right through them. I mean, he probably, I'm not, without a doubt, I believe he even study their case files before the interview began. And some of these people were claiming that they heard voices. So that's why they did what they did. I don't think hearing voices should be an excuse to get away with murder. And then I was at my sister's house, her apartment, like a month ago, and the serial killer, something about his name is what the fuck? I kind of forget his name, but he murdered like 17 people. They were all males, and he even ate some of them, or some of their body parts, and so he was classified as a cannibal and a murderer and a rapist. But they interviewed him, and other inmates, and there was one particular inmate that that wanted to assassinate him for his actions. And he went as far as because he discovered that he was in a psych ward. So he pretended like he was crazy, like he was lunatic, the whole 9 yards. And it took him 2 years to actually for him to be placed in the same building that this person wanted to assassinate. And I think they only got him for like attempted murder, because he tried to assassinate him. He tried to kill him with a prison self-made razor blade weapon. And I guess he attended the church service that day. He sat right behind him, and then he attempted to slit his throat or whatever, but his razor blade or whatever broke, so he started punching him out, and that's when the staff came in and separated him from the murderer guy. Well, I think they were both murderers, but either way, they separated them, and he testified that that he'd been premeditating this murder, attempted murder. Well, but in his mind, it was murder. He wanted to take him out for 2 years. And one of the investigators, girls or whatever, like in the court, concluded that, well, she was just like talking about his actions and how he was so motivated and determined to take this person out, to act for 2 years like he was crazy. And I think he just got away with attempted murder with no other documentation attached to his profile. Now, this should have been a premeditated murder, not just what they classified as a premeditated. No, just attempted murder. You know, this was a premeditated act that wasn't even added to his belt. And it worries me because, you know, the legal system and the prison system is not classifying people correctly. And this person could be out in public right now. This person could have been released right now, years ago. And him knowing everything that he knows, and not just that, but studying this person he wanted to assassinate, successfully assassinates. Could be out here with all of us. And you or I wouldn't even know anything about this person besides that which is on, you know, his file, on his rap sheet. So I think that they should have, you know, I think they should have arrested him or charged him. I'm sorry. I think they should have charged him for premeditated murder, not just attempted murder. Because it took him 2 years to arrive there. 2 fucking years. So, think about it. If he's out here and he has something against someone, he could spend 10 years before he actually commits a murder. Like nothing. Even if it took him 20, 30 years. Especially if he knows fully well that the system is not fucking around with him or anyone else. You know, it's a no-brainer for these people to keep it on the low key in the hopes of not getting caught. And that's exactly why a lot of people are resigning, because they really don't know who to trust, and for them it's better for them not to even get involved with little petty cases that the enemy wants them to focus on. Like, oh, look over here. There's another fucking school shooting. Or, you know, in the case of Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, I'm sorry, and then them interviewing and publicizing, you know, making it public to all the people who these Secret Service agents are. And not just that, but even showing and revealing the actual Secret Service agent that shot and killed Matthew Crooks. You know, that right there, it shouldn't even be it shouldn't even be allowed on YouTube. Because now, if the enemy, if this was some form of terrorist attack, now these terrorists have, you know, facial recognition. They have, you know, through, you know, technology, they possibly even have voice recognition. And on YouTube, there's like the whole Secret Service, like getting interviewed and briefed regarding the case in their regular clothing. These people are not even in uniform. So that also bothers me to the highest extent. Because you know, and I don't understand how the Secret Service agents didn't go to court or to get this interview, you know, conductation, this conduct of a meeting, in their uniforms. I mean, personally, if I was in the Secret Service, I would not be wearing my street clothing. I would go in full uniform. For many reasons that I'm not even going to elaborate on or to discuss, and I'm just going to, you know, just shut my mind off regarding that, because you know, you people are putting your lives on the line. You people are putting your own lives at risk and your family's lives at risk, because this coverage, this footage or whatever is all over the internet. And you know, it's possible that you people don't even care um, but it just it is just highlighting who you people are. And never in history was that the case. You know, because there wasn't that much technology. You know, even when I think his name is John F. Kennedy. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. Um, you know, there obviously wasn't enough or um, that much technology back in his time. I mean, if we were to look at the bullet that nearly missed Donald Trump, and I'm not even going to worry about capitalization uh, at the time being. I'm just going to get straight into it, and there's images here that actually show like one of the bullets passing right near him. And you know, when John F. Kennedy passed away, I doubt that there was that much recordings, because in today's time and age, um, everyone, practically everyone, has a cell phone. Um, to this day, I do not understand and comprehend why there is so much restrictions and data limitations on people's cell phones, especially for the poor communities, or people that are broke and receiving Obama phones like I am, even though I fucking go to work like all of you motherfuckers. Um, but thankfully I got a pretty good phone that I don't even wash or clean. I mean, I really don't give a fuck about my phone, other than the fact that I can communicate with my family and I can call the police. If someone's life is in danger, or if people are fighting, and I can call the police and report it, or whatever the case may be. Um, but I'm not even allowed to have, like, sometimes these people want to start, they want to, they are beginning to tax all of the people that have Obama phones, and they're keeping it discretional and only charging approximately $10 through $15 a month. when in fact these phones were provided for lower income families who can't even fucking afford that. So someone is fucking around with the law and making a huge fucking profit from all the people that have Obama phones. I mean, think about it. $10, $15 adds up real quick. If they have 100,000 people and they're all paying $10, that's $1 million right there. When originally the Obama phones were provided for the people and to the people free of cost, with, I'm assuming, no data restrictions, no texting restrictions, no phone call restrictions, because at the end of the day, the government is collecting all the data or whatever from each and every single citizen. It doesn't matter which country we are talking about. Each and every single country collects the data from its citizens for the greater good of humanity and for the greater good of their own country. So when I am restricted from using Google Maps because my cell phone is getting tracked 24/7, I think the government of the United States, the government of the United States of America, should have the right to know what the fuck I'm thinking. But these companies or these organizations or these people are interfering with real evidence. And if I want to type in, show me a list of restaurants near me, and that's providing a foreknowledge of what we citizens are attempting to do 10 minutes in advance, 20 minutes in advance, 30 minutes in advance, or even 2 hours in advance. That data entry is critical for AI technology and its research towards us humans, because when it comes to people that want to commit murder or assassinate anyone, this data that's not getting collected because these motherfuckers want to restrict us is going to backfire on all of you people in the future, because you guys are going to think about this logic too late into the future, and by the time you people program and come up with scripts for AI technology to keep a record of what everyone is saying or searching, you people are going to get set back, as opposed to the countries or the people that are the countries or organizations that are providing the people with unlimited data. Because it doesn't profit me. it probably doesn't even profit you. And when it comes to the government, money is not an issue. You know, I was studying, like I said, I was studying some of the court hearings of the case of Donald J. Trump. Um, Donald J. Trump's attempted assassination, and one of the military officials said, you know, do you people need more resources? And he said no. And he said, well, I want you to think big when it comes to this. You know, meaning money. If money is an issue, money can be provided. Any resources can be provided. So these motherfuckers, you know, um, you know, restricting the American people. You know, I mean, I'm broke. I admit to that. I go work just like all of you. Right now, it has been very slow. Work has been very slow. And I think these people are doing it on purpose, just so they can have a reason to talk shit about me as they're studying me and studying my activity levels, whether I am active or not, whether I'm going out of my home, and just so they could watch me and stuff like that, including a bunch of other people. You know, an unnumber, an unfathomable amount of people. Okay? So I think these people are slow dragging the process. I think it's possible that these people are even indulging themselves in some form of illegal activities, even though I can't prove it. But I do thank God that we have AI technology, because with that, you know, sooner or later, surely enough, in the future, with AI technology, whatever people are trying to conceal and keep in the dark is going to be manifested and brought to the light with AI technology. You know, and that includes CCTV, text message, text files, phone call files, CCTV files, I think I already covered audio files, in audio recognition files, just like there is X files and cold cases files. So no one in this life is going to get granted, or will ever be granted, to roam around, to have, and have their own way, or to have their own way. It just will never fucking happen. That's why it pisses me off when people want to talk about the invasion of their privacy, their private privacy. Like, fuck your fucking private privacy. The government and other countries should have the liberty and the rights, and NASA and the space stations and the fucking what are they called again? You know, the Starlink satellites that were sent out to space by uh, the SpaceX organization, um, which is covering and also investigating a bunch of other stuff that we citizens have no idea about. So, there's a number of things to cover, and when these people say, "Oh, think big," I'm not talking shit on you people, but it doesn't seem like you people are thinking big when it comes to me. And that's a fucking issue. That's a problem. And I am so downcasted. Like I searched up this scripture that says hope deferred makes the heart sick. It's in Proverbs chapter 13 verse 12. It says hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Is a verse from the Bible. I mean, I go to work, I come back home, I have no money, even though I work all fucking day, all fucking week sometimes. And it seems like people, these voices I hear, it seems like they're making fun of me. They're talking shit about me. And they're calling me names. And I think they're using that to their advantage to continue in their sin. So they're using that to continue in their sin. Because, if they could convince half the population that I am broke, that I will never be able to amount to anything, that I will never be able to provide anything for their children, if for whatever reason I liked one of their, these people's daughters, or whatever the fucking case might be, or might have been, or whatever the fuck, like, and them saying, well, look at him, he can't even fucking fly out of the States. He only earns fucking like what, $3,000 a month? Like, these bitches are out there sucking dick or getting fucked down, and they're making that amount in one fucking session. And they're out there saying, you best believe like, and there's like that song that goes like, something about Scrub. Um, is Scrub is not a guy for me. Um, he stays at home with his mama, thinking about shit, but he doesn't have any money or some shit like that. You know, yeah, all that shit is funny to them. It's a tactic these people are using. Um, uh, Towards you know, younger minds that don't know any better, so that they can, you know, and they never say, oh, look at, um you know, I have $2,000 for us to fuck. They always say it. um they use like reverse psychology. They say, oh, look at this guy, he can't even pay bitches to fuck for even $2,000. So they're basically insinuating that they are able to do it. And and then people who are around them even fight, and they get into arguments even with their own spouses or husbands regarding why they should it's now September 27th, 2024. It is 12:32. It's Friday. Anyway, I was just looking at the time. So these people, you know, will put other people down and talk about it in public. And you people who are working contrary to these type of tactics have to recognize the differences. You people have to understand that some of these people could be doing it in front of your faces without you people even recognizing what some of these people are doing. But some of these people are having arguments amongst themselves on the sole basis of money. So obviously no one wants to fuck with me. I'm broke. You know, what the fuck can I offer your daughter? Or your fucking wife? You know, because if your wife wants to fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck the bitch too. Okay? Just to make the record clear. You know, but some of these people, you know, they have money. So the wife is like, yeah, go with him. Yeah. But the husband's like, no. But then the wife gets involved and says, you know, fuck you. You're like, don't you remember when you were young? You wanted to have fun. Like, let your daughter go and have fun. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's, you know, bitches get fucked all the time. You know, I'm pretty sure there's even people that just like to meet up just to fuck around. You know, I'm not against that. people having fun and fucking themselves, that's great. That's good. Whatever stimulates the brain, um, whatever stimulates the brain and makes people happy, I'm all for it. I have nothing against it. But then it comes back to why some of these people are committing murder or committing suicide or hurting themselves without attempting to commit murder or without attempting to commit suicide. I'm sorry. So, so and it's all because these people have the ideology of these people have the ideology of fuck of shit. This alcohol is getting to me. But anyway, so these people have the ideology of like, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about smoking a cigarette, but I'm not allowed to smoke in my room, and this is where the only place where I have a light for me to record comfortably. So it's throwing me off. It's throwing me off 10 minutes ago. Probably even 30, 40 minutes ago to an hour ago. But these people have the thoughts of these innocent minds have the thought of, oh, these people love me. They love me like my own parents do, like my own legal guardians do, or legal institutions do regarding love and caring for someone. But then a lot of people with money, they don't give a fuck about people, they're just in it for the sex, and they have the money, and the parents are like, well, we need to give our daughter the best possible future, so we just gotta throw her in with the wolves. I'm sorry, not with the wolves, but with the with this fine gentleman that has a lot of money. And at the end of the day, he doesn't get what he wants, so he throws the bitch out. With all her belongings. In front of the curb or whatever. Or he just has her car, her friends or her family members to come pick her shit up, in the nicest way possible. Because he's not having it, He, in his mind, he already has 10 other bitches he could be fucking with if this bitch isn't isn't trying to give it up. This bitch is not trying to satisfy him. This bitch is not, trying to suck his dick and make him feel like he's in, on top of the world or on the moon. Or like, in the ISS or some shit like that. Or on the Virgin spacecraft that goes around the moon and back to Earth. Because I talked about that before, If I had money, I would be taking all kinds of bitches to the fucking moon. On the Virgin spaceship. Like, bitch, you're a virgin? You're not about to be a virgin tonight. In this voyage of ours. You're about to lose your virginity as we're traveling Godspeed in between planet Earth and the moon. And that will be all day long. And what the fuck are you people thinking about? You people got me fucked up. I swear to God. Anyways, I need to go smoke this cigarette.